I'm Matthew Lelliott.
I'm Zach McLeod
and I play for GV Suns. Come down and support the GV Suns.
My club,
your club,
our club.
Visit our Facebook page to find out when we're playing next.
And for those tuning in, welcome to McEwen Reserve for the GV Suns versus Moreland Zebras. I'm Liam Nash, and with me is Blake Corso. How's it going, Blake?
Good, thanks, Liam. Pleasure to be back here today on another fine evening at McEwen Reserve.
Yeah, absolutely. As Moreland get things started with Matt Watley, the centre back, on the ball. Now, both teams running into this game, both off losses, both 1-0. The Suns falling to Northcote at home last weekend, 1-0. Moreland coming into it off a 1-0 loss to Boleyn on Monday night. So, plenty in this game. As we can see, that man Josh Knight getting on the ball early, making inroads. What's he going to do? Lays it off to Dario Vidicic. Knight just thinking about it, and he hooks that one high and handsome over the bar. But pretty lively early start there from Moreland. What do you make of it, Blake?
Yeah, definitely, Liam. I think it's going to be one of those games where there's going to be goals aplenty. We've just seen Dario Vidicic get on the ball in the opening few seconds. Can't believe we've got him here at McEwen Reserve, a former Australian international, nearly 30 caps for the Socceroos and the 2 goals and over 150 A-League games. So pleasure to have him here with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Vidicic, one of the massive names that Moreland have brought in for this season. And there's Knight again, looking to make his way around Shane Dunn, but to no avail. It'll be a Suns goal kick. But yeah, as you said, Blake, looks like there could be plenty of goals in this game. Suns aren't sort of known for their goal scoring prowess this season, but where they've won games is at the back with the likes of Liam Kilty, who's on the ball at the moment, and Ellis Williamson, paired by Greg Nash, and we have Sean Pye, and I believe at right back. But here's Moreland nonetheless, Luke DeVitt.
Yeah, just touched on the Suns' inability to score, take some of their chances there, Liam. Actually conceded the least goals in the league, averaging only 1 goal conceded per game, 8 goals from 8, but actually only scored the second least in the whole division. So goal difference of +3, 11 goals scored and 8 against is not a bad return for the Suns, but they're definitely going to want to look to get on the score sheet a bit more frequently.
Yeah, absolutely. And if the goals are going to come, it's likely that Varney Shamoon will feature. He's slotted really well into that number 9 role since plying his trade from out wide. But we've also got a few other faces up top. Sean Grant with a couple of goals so far this season. He'll look to get on the ball early, and he does here. Chests the ball down and wins a throw-in for the Suns.
Just jumping back onto that A-League pedigree here from Moreland Zebras. Also got Cam Watson playing for the side today. Played about half a dozen times for Moreland so far this season. Over 100 games for Adelaide United in the A-League. And former Ollie Roo at under-17s and under-20 level, Cammy Watson. Also Jake Barker-Daish played for both Gold Coast United and Adelaide United. Starts on the bench today after 8 consecutive games in the squad. Played every game so far this season, has Jake Barker-Daish.
Absolutely. They've got talent coming out of the areas, do Moreland Zebras. Josh Knight with the early chance. He, I believe, was a Welsh youth international. Spent time in West Brom's youth ranks before going on a couple of loan spells to some prominent clubs. And yeah, he'll look to cause havoc for the Suns' backline. But here's Greg Nash with the throw-in for the Suns. Looking for Murahi, who's done well in recent weeks. Elliott with a interesting challenge, but good early pressure here from Moreland, just forcing the Suns back. Haven't been able to do much with it because they haven't had the ball. And here's Matt Watley, the centre-back, passing it over to Tremaine Sadler. He'll find Nathan Tidmarsh at left-back. Suns just happy to let Moreland have the ball here in their own half, swinging it around, but they'll go long. Looking for Luke DeVitt. Nash will run that one out for a goal kick.
You can just see Cameron Watson there in the middle of the park settling into his role. Looks like he's playing as more of a number 10 attacking midfielder today, which is quite a bit different from the centre-back or defensive midfield position he played in the A-League all those years ago. So good to see him getting a bit further up the park. He'll make life difficult for the Suns defenders today.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of the Suns, they've got some possession inside the Moreland Zebras half, but Murahi goes lunging in, doesn't win the ball, but Matt Elliott will. Here's that man Vidicic just flicking it over the head of Jamie DeSmit. It's a far cry from Shepparton in the Basel to playing against a former Socceroo for DeSmit, but nonetheless, Moreland will pick up the ball, play it to Ratip Silali, the right winger. Here's Cam Watson, the skipper, dropping deep, finding the feet of Vidicic. Just takes a little slip, and Matt Elliott says, thanks, I'll have that. Plays it to Smith. Here's Dunn. Back to Kilty. Dunn again, just dropping deep, as he so often does for the Suns. Spins on it, and slots it into Elliott's feet. He'll go wide to Ellis Williamson, who's in nosebleed territory. Done under a bit of pressure there from Josh Knight, the Welshman, versus the Irishman. The Irishman prevails. There's Nash, threading it nicely through to Murahi. He's got a couple of men on him. Looks for the cutback, and Moreland just happy to clean things up. Oh, that's costly turnover. The ball's coming to the back stick, looking for Murahi, but it's well dealt with there from Moreland Zebras.
Absolute workhorse there is Mr. Greg Nash. Can see already getting up and down the field several times in the nosebleed section. He's someone who will probably look to play every minute of every game this season, as he's done multiple times for the GV Suns. Just an ageless man, it seems. Yeah, we often touch on it, but he is, I believe, the Suns' most capped player. And it's that ticker that keeps him going. Good chance there for the Suns, but comes to no avail. That's the keeper, Fraser Chalmers, knocking it to his centre-back, Tremaine Sadler. He'll find Cam Watson, and Watson is dropping really deep in between the two centre halves, and just threading those balls through, and that's a lovely pass to Ratip Silali. He'll go wide. Good footwork there from Nathan Tidmarsh. There's the skipper Watson again, feeding it out to Nicola Simioi. Tidmarsh. Vidicic. All the way back. There's that diagonal, but Matty Elliott cutting it out as he has a few times so far this game. That's a cracking ball. And here's Nicola Simioi just flashing a sort of wayward shot just past the right-hand upright, but geez, some danger there for the Suns. Started quick and fast, have Moreland Zebras. seeing Cam Watson start to drop a bit deeper into much more natural position for him, and Dario Vidicic pushing up a lot higher on the left wing, as he often played for both the Socceroos and Adelaide United across his career. Is probably his best position today, I think. He'll get a lot of the ball out there.
Yeah, speaking of Vidicic, he took off to Germany, as so many young, promising Australian footballers do, and we actually know another one who's heading off at the end of the year in a local role, having played alongside Alo and seeing him develop. So we'll get back to this because Moreland Zebras are on a counter and they've just put one away. What a play down the right-hand side from Nicola Semioy, and Ratip Salali is there to tap it home. 1-0 to Moreland Zebras. What do you make of that, Blake?
Certainly not the start that GV Suns would have wanted, especially since we just touched on their ability not to concede goals in crucial games. But yeah, less than ideal start. But you've already seen the key players, Cammy Watson, Dario Vidicic, Simeonoy, players like that, definitely getting on the ball early and making a nuisance for them, for the GV Suns. And yeah, they're definitely going to want to tighten up the screws at the back a little bit. Kilty getting a little bit exposed there. So yeah, 1-0 Moreland.
Yeah, Suns under the cosh basically from the kickoff, and you felt something had to give, and it did right there, with Ratip Salali tapping home Moreland's first. Nevertheless, the Suns will look to re-engage. Here's Williamson, slinging it around the back. Sean Pye is looks like he's taken Williamson's post at centre-back, and possibly his first start of the season for the Suns. Came across from Murray United, who seniors are now defunct. He's done a good job when called upon. He's got work to do here. Here's Vidicic, playing it back to Watson, the two former professionals, just linking up well there. It's all the way back to Tremaine Sadler. Chalmers. Back to Cam Watson. Watson's doing a similar job to what Dunn usually does for the Suns, and dropping deep and playing that playmaker role, but the Suns just forced back there. There's a bit of a chat from the ref, but I'll hand it over to Blakey.
And just a quick look at the table while the referee's sorting things out here. You can see Suns are actually equal second with both Kingston and Northcote City, and Moreland Zebras languishing in 8th. This is definitely one of those games Suns are going to want to try and take maximum points from if they are any hope of gaining promotion into the NPL this season.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to think, as you said, if they're looking to hit that promotion level, but sorry, ball's just flashed across and Kilty's had to hit that over. The referee's flagged, but yeah, Moreland just with the 2 wins so far this season. This could be the 3rd if the Suns don't start to hit back soon. Nonetheless, it'll be that man, David A. Cardamone, who hasn't featured all too much for the Zebras tonight, taking the in-swinging corner off the left. He'll go back to Watson, just drills it across, and the Moreland players got on the end of it, but it will just flash wide of the left-hand post. And just examining previous encounters between these two teams, so we spoke of him before. Alo Kuol got the equaliser back in 2019 when these two teams last played each other. The year before it was a 2-1 loss with Craig Carley, the Suns coach, getting on the score sheet for the Suns, and 2017 it was a 3-1 loss with Lewis Coyle. A bit of a journeyman around these parts, knocking one home. But yeah, past results don't bode well for the Suns. But they've got some good possession inside the Moreland Zebras half here.
Only 8 games played so far this season, Liam. Do you think we can see the Suns gaining promotion this year, or is it just a little bit too early for this young group of boys yet?
It's a real tough one, Blake, because obviously they started off with so much promise with 3 wins on the trot. Hit a bit of a dour patch, but yeah, if you think that they are going to get promoted, these are the games they absolutely have to win. It's non-negotiable. And so it's hard. Being out in the country, you don't have the sort of wealth of talent at your disposal, but Craig Carley's done a fine job in assembling a very competitive team for this year's NPL2 competition. Whether it's good enough to be able to elevate into the NPL1, it's yet to be proven, but yeah, we'll definitely find out tonight.
Yeah, just touching on the promotion again there, we did mention the Suns equal second on the table. Hopefully we don't get any more deja vu this year with the GV Suns. They tend to start just about every season extremely brightly and then tail off towards the back end of the season when some of the older boys, maybe the legs start getting a little bit heavy and niggles and injuries start to take their toll. So hopefully something the Suns will grow out of very soon and can gain promotion back into the top tier of the NPL.
Yeah, definitely. But here we have the Suns. Nash and Murray linking up well, but they've just fluffed their lines a little bit there, the Suns. This has been a combination we've seen working pretty fluently so far for the Suns this season. Murray, a bit of a bolter, joining the Suns. This is his first season in the orange and has made that left wing position his own. So doesn't do too much, does the basics well, and has even knocked home a goal. Nevertheless, here's Simeoi, who provided the assist for Moreland's goal. If you are just tuning in, it's 1-0 to Moreland Zebras. Here's Tremaine Sadler. He'll pump it long to no avail. Williamson will just chase that one down and throw it all the way back to Zach McLeod, who we were speaking about it before, Blake. He'd have to be one of the youngest keepers in the league. Still a teenager, I believe, and really impressing for Craig Carley so far this season.
Yeah, certainly would be one of the youngest in the league, if not the youngest. As the ball goes out for a goal kick there. I was under the impression that he might be over 21 years of age, but I'm corrected that he's actually still a teenager, young Zachy McLeod, so definitely a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, definitely, and there was not a whole lot he could do about that goal. Ball on the cutback, flash past his right leg. It was a pretty decisive counter-attack from Zebras to get things rolling here, but McLeod will pick up the ball, go to Sean Pye. Put under pressure, but he manages to find Williamson, who picks out DeSmit on the trot, and Sean Grant chasing down, but he won't quite have the legs, and the ball find the feet of Fraser Chalmers.
Probably still a little bit upset is Sean Grant not to be included in the Scotland squad for the upcoming Euros. I know he fancied himself to get in the squad there, but just missed out on this occasion, unfortunately. So he's going to have to wait another 4 years to get a chance at the Euros, is Sean Grant. Yeah, definitely. Well, he's making waves. First to Chira, now the Suns. Who knows what's next? But tonight he's got the task of sticking one in Moreland Zebras' net. Here are the Zebras looking for Knight, and Sean Pye has just cleaned him up. This could be a card here. Moreland Zebras players really not happy, and it will be a yellow for Sean Pye. What did you make of that tackle? Very industrial challenge right in the centre circle there. I thought it was Matt Lalliott for a second, but I had to check my eyes and clean my glasses off and find out it was actually Sean Pye. But yeah, very industrial challenge. But that's exactly the area of the park where they need to be made. So good decision by him to make a foul there and no further closer to his own goal. Yeah, definitely get that one in early. Make him think twice about getting on the turn next time. And there's Grant applying a bit of pressure. Vidicic with the fast feet. He'll have Williamson on his case, who will cut out that cross. Moreland Zebras will pick up a corner. Moves well for a 34-year-old, does Dario Vidicic. It's like he's fresh out of the A-League. I'm still looking around trying to find his father, Rado. Haven't seen him just as of yet, but I'm assured he's here somewhere watching him play. Yeah, he's pretty hard to miss with those bright orange boots, is Vidicic, and he's showed his pedigree tonight with a couple of nice touches and passes. Nonetheless, driving a ball in to the near post, Moreland. It's cleared away, and here's Shamoon. He'll go back to Matt Lalliott. Drives the ball inside, finds the feet of DeSmit. It goes to Nash, but it's cut out well by Tidmarsh. Zebra's just keeping the ball really well here. Very hungry and winning the ball back after losing possession. And they certainly value it. Suns have really not had a lot to say when on the ball.
to the pure fact that they haven't been on the ball much at all.
Certainly not playing like a team that's currently 8th on the table is Moreland. Definitely had the better of this game thus far. Just happy to play the game on their terms and slow it right down and move the ball around. So definitely playing a lot better than their ladder position suggests Moreland Zebras.
Yeah, absolutely. Very slick in the manner of how they pass the ball around. As the ball just flings off Jamie DeSmith's chest into the feet of Fraser Chalmers. But Suns, yeah, they're going to have to work hard to break them down. Haven't had much of a sniff of possession and haven't even been near the Moreland net as of yet. There's Watson dropping deep again. That goes to Cardamone. All the way back to Sadler. Suns looking to apply some pressure here in the Moreland defensive third. Forces them to go long. Nonetheless, the ball's found the feet of Ciselli, the goal scorer. He'll go down the line to Knight, who's been in danger all night. He drives on across, and it looks for the feet of Vidicic, but he can't quite convert, and the Suns have got away with one there. Bit of afters for from Liam Kilty. Nothing given. Here's Murray. Go back to Sean Pye. Williamson. Ops long. Does find DeSmith, who can flick it on to Grant. Hasn't had much of a say tonight. He'll go back, and Suns have got Akers here. Here's Shamoon. He'll drive inside, and Nash will be on the overlap. Instead, he'll go to Matt Lalliott. Suns enjoying a bit of real estate inside Moreland's half. Ball goes across, and it's a cracking cross from Williamson, but it's well headed away from Simioi to avoid Nash getting on the end of it. But good signs from the Suns here.
Yeah, good to see the Suns just starting to take control in that last 4 or 5 minutes, little passage of play there. Certainly going to want to try and get one back before half-time. Still about 20 minutes to go until half-time. I know we've touched on Dario Vidicic a couple of times already, former Socceroo Australian international. Quite a habit of breeding Socceroos does this club, Moreland Zebras. Had the likes of Mark Bresciano, Mehmet Jurakovic, Billy Selesky and Michael Theo all come through the ranks at Moreland Zebras. So very proud club with a very proud history there.
Absolutely. Moreland Juventus, as I believe they were formerly known as. Now the Zebras. But they'll have to defend this corner. Grant goes short, and he'll pick up the goal again, looking for a strike, but it's well cut out. Williamson will throw his weight around, but he's dispossessed. And here's Simioi. Oh, he looks for Knight, but he is offside. Sun's lucky to get away with one, and Josh Knight has got his hands on his head thinking, how? Nonetheless, Suns will get things restarted with Nash. Going back to Kilty. Out to Pye. Here's Dunn. He wouldn't want to be losing the ball there. He's gone out to Sean Pye. Back to DeSmith, but DeSmith again. Out to Williamson, who's enjoyed life at right back so far this game. Going long. There's Lalliott. What can he do? Moreland happy to clear the lines for a Suns throw-in, but yeah, game just going a little bit stale in the last 10 minutes. What do you make of it, Blake?
Yeah, I think the boys from both sides just starting to settle a little bit now and just take the sting out of the game there. Just noticed Vani Shamoon starting up top for the GV Suns, both centre-backs towering over him, so I wonder if that's something Craig Carley might look to change up coming into the second half of this game if they relocate him to another position or put a bit of a bigger body up front there, but I'm sure he'll handle himself as well as he has every other game. 3 goals so far this season, Vani Shamoon.
Yeah, as we touched on before, his love life in that new role as the number 9. But in terms of the Suns bench, there isn't a lot of height on there, Blake. We've got the likes of Willie Soiluma, Brandon Giaccarini, and I believe Lucas Enders in goal, Haran Akhtar. So it'll be interesting to see if they make a sub who will be coming on. Suns just picking up possession. Happy to knock around the back. Lalliott and Williamson. Dunn getting involved.
Just on the subs there, Kiwi, Giaccarini and Actus are the only two who haven't actually played a game. Enders has just played a game of 21s, and Willie Sow there did play the first 45 minutes for the under-21. So only 2 fresh players on the bench have the GV Suns. definitely Giaccarini probably the more attacking option if the Suns are going to look to get a goal if they still have not scored in the second half.
Yeah, definitely Giaccarini all class, but he is only young, I believe 17 years of age, and has found it hard against the bigger bodies when coming on at this senior level in NPL2, but he knows how to find the net, scoring, I believe, 30 plus for the Suns under 16s a couple of years back. Speaking of those earlier games, both 2-2 draws, I believe, for the 19s and the 21s. But right now it's 1-0 to Moreland Zebras here at McEwen Reserve. It was Silali getting on the score sheet early for the Zebras. And Suns just forced to find an avenue into this game, but still being put under immense pressure here by the Zebras. And McLeod there just forced to heave that one into the stands. It'll be Simeoi to take the throw. Those two linking up well on the right-hand flank for the Zebras. Here's Cardamone. Ooh. Grant looks to pick his pocket, but he just about manages to get it back to his centre-back, Sadler. He'll get on it again. Goes across to Matt Watley, who hasn't had a whole lot to do tonight for the Zebras, as Varney Shamoon gives chase. Chalmers picks out his left winger, and here's Vidicic, who's been a little bit quiet for a man of his calibre, but nonetheless, he picks out Simeoi, who absolutely skins Greg Nash. Here's Salali. He knocks it back, but Kilty saves the day with a salmon dive. Heads it out. Ooh. Lelliot is fouled there by Simeoi. Bit of uproar from the Zebra stands, but Suns again getting away with one there.
Really do worry for the GV Suns at this point. Still 20 minutes to go until half-time. The boys can reset and get a bit of a break. But the top scorer for Moreland Zebras, Thomas Barfarosh, actually starting on the bench today. So he'll come on at some stage, no doubt, and definitely provide a lot more headache for the Suns a bit later in this game.
Yeah, speaking of that man, Barfarosh, he scored a couple of headers, I believe, to ensure that the Zebras were the first NPL team to reach the FFA Cup quarterfinals back in 2019. And Moreland showing their cup prowess again. They're still in the cup, heading into round 6 against Langwarrin. Suns, unfortunately, were knocked out a couple of weeks back by Sydenham Park. That was 3-0. But plenty of squad depth. There are some absolute jets on the bench of the Moreland Zebras who will look to make misery for the Suns later on tonight, but still the first half here at McEwen Reserve. Scores 1-0 in favour of the Zebras. There's Dunn, spinning his man well, but he's just put that a bit too far ahead. Here's Cardamone. Finds Knight. It's been a little bit quiet since that purple patch initially, and Sally Nash does well to pick his pocket. Finds Mirahi, and Nash is charging. I think he wants it back. Will he get it? No. Mirahi opts for DeSmit instead. He'll go wide to Williamson. DeSmit to Dunn. Looks for the feet of Shamoon, but Moreland Zebras are onto that. Good touch there from Shamoon, though. He's in a bit of a yard of space there. Flashes it across, but Fraser Chalmers will hold on to that one.
Just Alice Williamson getting on the ball not too long ago. Obviously deputising at right fullback today with the absence of Adam Gatcombe picking up his 5th yellow card last week, meaning he is suspended just for the one game today. So Alice Williamson doing the job there for Adam Gatcombe today.
Yeah, it was a very card-happy referee last week at McEwen Reserve. Suns losing 1-0 to Northcote, but also picking up 7 yellow cards in the process. 2 of those awarded to Fraser Gostray, who earned a red card, who obviously isn't featuring tonight. So yeah, Suns just have to be careful on the old discipline. Just the 1 yellow card tonight for Sean Pye, the centre-back. Williamson showing his quality. Just keeping the ball here for the Suns. It'll go out to Liam Kilty at left centre-back. He'll look for the incisive ball into the middle for Murahi, but Moreland have cut that back out, and Chalmers will pump it long. Nash wins the header, but there's no one on the seconds. Nash does well to put a bit of pressure on and win the Suns a throw-in.
Cameron Watson definitely pulling the strings for Moreland Zebras today. He is going to be crucial to their season this year if they're going to charge up the table from their current position in 8th and maybe even push for a late promotion triumph. So definitely one of the key men for Moreland Zebras today and for the rest of their season.
Yeah, definitely. He's been instrumental in that midfield for Moreland, just picking the ball up very deep and slinging it right into the heart of midfield, causing problems for the likes of Dunn, DeSmit and Lelliot. But Suns just easing their way into the game, definitely enjoying a lot more possession in the second half of the first half. There's Dunn. He looks for Williamson. Can he control? He can, and he wins the ball in a pretty dangerous area. Flicks it in, and here's Murray. He's got to score, and he does. George Murray thundering home. A left-footed volley past Fraser Chalmers to lock the scores at 1-1 here at McEwen Reserve. What a goal, and you have to say, Blake, it's come out of the blue.
Well, Suns definitely would have wanted to get a goal before halftime. There's still 15 minutes to play in this half, but George Murray with his second goal of the season, just lurking at the back there. The ultimate poacher's goal.
Yeah, cries of go Georgie here from Paul Uniac, and rightly so. What a finish, and it all inside. A nice ball out wide. Williamson did extremely well to win the ball and float one across, and fortunately for the Suns, it landed at the feet of Murray, who could not miss from about 8 yards. So that ties things up here at McEwen Reserve. Scores are locked at 1-1, and that's just made things a little bit more interesting. Here are the Suns. They'll have a bit of wind in their sails for the next 5 or so. There's Pye. He'll find Dunn. Started the build-up play for the Suns' goal. Williamson also involved. He goes long, but can't find DeSmit. Nonetheless, the Suns will keep possession. But as you said, Blake, this game was guaranteed to have goals in it, and we've just seen 2 in the first half. What's your thoughts for what the second half might shape up to look like?
Well, just looking at the Suns bench again, I don't think they really have too many options to bring on later in this game. So they're definitely going to try and score as many goals as quickly as possible. Not going to want to leave it to the last minute, as you wouldn't want to do. So I think there will be more goals in this one, and I reckon the Suns will get up here tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and they've just won possession in a pretty good area of the park here. Sean Grant charging hard down the right wing and getting pulled back. So it will be Grant who'll step over the dead ball. Bit of a specialist for the Suns, number 19. Suns throwing the tall timber forward, the likes of Williamson, Kilty, all making their way up and lining up inside the Zebras box. You can see Suns coach Craig Carley up and about, and he would be after that goal, but here's Grant. Whips one in. It's a tantalising ball, but it's well headed away by Zebras. Another good chance there for the Suns.
Very dangerous player is Sean Grant off a set piece. Loves the old free kick. Seen him score quite a few in my time, actually. Very creative player is Sean Grant.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen him whip in a fair few for the Tatura Ibis back in the day. And the Suns try a little move there with Grant and Murray. He doesn't pay off, but they will keep possession high up inside the Zebras half. Williamson, we know he's got a long throw on him, but he goes short here to Murray. Just hooks one in, gets the 3-iron out, but Fraser Chalmers is alert and picks that one up pretty comfortably. Williamson with the feather touch to pluck it out of the heavens. Goes to Murray, the goal scorer for the Suns, and he's been dangerous so far. Examining these two lineups, Blake, who do you think you want to see more out of? I know for me, for the Zebras, it would probably be Vidicic, a player of that caliber. Hasn't really made much of an impact tonight, so yeah, what are your thoughts?
Look, I think Vidicic has been way too quiet. I'm not sure if he'll play a full 90, so they're definitely going to want to get as much out of him as early as possible in this game. I think Cam Watson has done his job. I think Josh Knight has done well. Matt Watley hasn't had much to do, but I think most of the Moreland Zebras players are playing quite well. GV Suns much the same. I think the centre-backs Pye and Kilty have been playing quite well. Greg Nash has been excellent as always. Sean Grant has been aggressive at the ball, what we've come to expect from Shawnee. Varney Shamoon not really getting much of the ball so far, but I think that will come later in the game.
Yeah, definitely. That was going to be my pick, Shamoon. Very lethal one-on-one, but just hasn't had that opportunity tonight here at McEwen Reserve. But he'll pick up the ball. What's he got? Dances inside. He's got a few men on him, but nonetheless, keeps possession. Flicks it off to Dunn. He'll get it back off, I believe, Williamson, but Vidicic doing his defensive duties, picking the pocket, and that'll go long. Ooh, good challenge there from Sean Pye, just making sure that Knight wasn't going to run in behind. Here's Moreland, looking into Ciselli, the goal scorer for the Zebras. Knight. Oh, sorry, no, that was Luke DeVitt, who's been pretty quiet. Both number 6s. Matt Lalliott, he was showing some promise early with a couple of good early breaks, but hasn't really got on the ball too much in the later stages of this first half. And we are winding down. I believe there's probably only about 10 minutes to go in this first half here at McEwen. Scores locked at 1-1. And here are the Suns. Williamson finding the feet of Shamoon, who goes to Murahi. Lalliott to Nash. What's he going to do? Just opts to go back, keeps the ball. Lalliott sprays one over, but yeah, that's a pretty risky pass, and it's an area you don't want to lose the ball in. Shane Dunn helps his mate out and wins back the possession for the Suns. Flicks one over the top, but that's well cut out from Nathan Tidgemarsh there at left back for the Zebras. Murahi just looks at the heavens as he can't quite bring that one under, but Suns have really dragged themselves back into this game. The goal certainly helped, but you'd have to say they've had the lion's share of possession in the last 5 minutes, and look a bit of a chance to maybe bag another one before the interval.
Yeah, I think Suns have done well these last 10 or 15 minutes, barring the few early jitters. I think Craig Carley will probably touch on the positives and the negatives going into half-time. I think they were a bit stunned early by Moreland Zebras, and some of the class they had in midfield just undone the Suns. Probably a bit underprepared there, but they've definitely come back these last 15 minutes, have the GV Suns, and playing a lot better football as we approach half-time.
Yeah, definitely. As you mentioned, you'd have to say Carley would be largely pleased with how his side has sort of dragged back into this game. Opposition manager Gianfranco Impellizzeri might feel like he's just been a bit hard done by. His team absolutely dominating early, but just sort of faltered when it's mattered in the second half of this first half. Suns just surviving a bit of a scare there, giving the ball away a bit too cheaply. But Kilty will take the free kick about 5 to 10 yards off the byline. Drags it, but Cardamone will pick that up. Look to Vidicic. Here's Knight. Gets around Pye with ease, but nothing's done with it. Smith just makes life a bit hard there for Nash. Does well to win the throw. Good battle. Both number 3s playing pretty well, Nash and Simeoe. Ball goes long. Ooh, bit of an agricultural tackle there from Jamie DeSmit. Just got in behind Salali, but the ref won't have a word to him. We just say, come on, boys, let's play ball.
Just noticing over on this near touchline, Sean Grant swapping with George Mirani, swapping wings, so not getting much of the ball out on that right side was Sean Grant, so he's moved over here to the left to try and get a bit more of it. So we'll see how he goes up against Matty Watley here on the left-hand side.
Yeah, definitely. Grant, obviously the right-footed, Murray the left. But here's Vidicic, and it's flicked across. I believe it was off the boot of Knight, and just deflected for a Moreland Zebras corner. But it just shows how dangerous they can be on the counter. One ball, that's all it was, splitting the Suns' defence. And luckily, the Suns were alert enough to put that one behind for a corner. It is the captain, Cam Watson, strolling over to swing this one in. Goes short, finds the feet of Knight. Out to Salini, but Suns could be on the counter here. Shamoon heaves it towards the head of Murray. He flicks it on, and he's got Shane Dunn running outside him. Sadler's pretty comfortable with that, finding the feet of his keeper, Chalmers. Lelliot, he doesn't shirk a 50-50 challenge, does Matt Lelliot, and does well to keep the pressure on. Just winding down here in the first half at McEwen Reserve. For those just tuning in, it is 1-1. Ratip Salali giving the Zebras an early advantage. And then George Murray scoring the ledger in about 20 minutes in. Murray. Here's Williamson. He pings a trademark diagonal. And what a ball that is, finding the feet of Shamoon. He's one-on-one here, and he beats his man with ease. He's got Nash outside him, but he chooses to flick one in towards Dunn, but it's well cut out, and Kilty has to win this challenge, and he does so with aplomb. Here is the big centre-back. Finding Nash, who just sprays that one wide. And some tackle there from the Sun skipper Dunn to win possession back. Here's Williamson going for a dance down the right. And just, yeah, a pretty lively period there for both teams there, Blake.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly picked up a bit in pace towards the end of this first half. Crowd starting to filter in nicely here at McEwen Reserve. Beautiful night for it. Most of the seats looking quite full here, so beautiful night for football. The town's picked a good night to come out and support the boys, so very good evening for it as we approach half-time.
We've asked for a shout out from my cousin Dan Breslin out in Perth. Hope you're well, Dan. As the Suns throw it in, we've also got my parents watching back home in New Zealand. Hi, Mum and Dad, and as always, Clive Gatcombe, Adam's dad, tuning in from the UK. Early morning start for old Clive, so welcome. Here's the Suns. Still on the ball. Dunn's toiling away, as always. Vidicic. He'll go back to Sadler. He'll go all the way back to Chalmers. Matt Watley goes back to Chalmers. Sadler flings it long, but Pye wasn't going to get caught out by that one. And here is Liam Kilty. Bit of a press here from the Zebras, and Suns will have to deal with this. It's given away, and Watson just flicks around the bend, but Kilty makes sure that's not going anywhere, heading it back to his custodian, Zach McLeod. Done. Bit of space. Finds Grant. Good bit of football there from the Suns. Nash. Nice first-time pass, and he'll get it back. Slings it across, and it's just a bit too much on it. Didn't find either DeSmit or Murahi, but nonetheless, the Suns are high up inside the Zebras' half. Good flick there from Knight. He'll get it back. He's got a few yards to run into. Williamson is chasing him down. What's he got one-on-one? Cuts inside. Does well. What a ball across, and it's just too much, but the right back there, Nicholas Simioy, just looking to get on the end of a pretty dangerous move there from the Zebras.
Yeah, just seen that touch of class there from Joshy Knight. Definitely been the most lively of all the Moreland Zebras players so far. We probably thought Dario Vidicic was going to be on the ball a little bit more, but Josh Knight definitely proving the goods so far for the Zebras with 3 minutes until half-time. Fraser Chalmers with the ball here. Looks for an option. Says, come to me. No one comes. Boots it long. Greg Nash up for the header. Wins it beautifully. Dan Lelliot just gets it away. Pye out to Williamson. Lalliot again. In the middle to the skipper. Slips it through. Shawnee Grant. The pacey Scotsman. Oh. Deflection corner, GV Suns.
Yeah, he was always shaping up to take that shot on his right foot, but Moreland just didn't allow him the opportunity. Cannoned it off. I believe it might have been Matt Watley's behind, and the ball did go behind for a Suns corner. So it's really drawing late into this first half here at McEwen Reserve. Scores are tied at 1-1, but the Suns have a corner. It'll be Sean Grant to take. Flicks it in, looking for the near post, but it's well headed away from Vidicic. Nash will lumber over to take the throw in, but Suns happy just to set up. Nash into the feet of Shamoon. Goes to ground, but Lalliot will pick up the ball. Go out to Williamson. What's he got? It's a great ball into Muir. He doesn't know a whole lot about it as the ball rebounds off his head. Nonetheless, Cardamone will go to Watson. He's got plenty of options ahead. Josh Knight is streaking ahead. Nash with the 50-50 and does really well. Wins that ball. Says no to Luke DeVitt. And there's Nash again. Working hard. David Cardamone's dropped Varney Shamoon like a bad habit there. And the Suns will have another free kick inside the Moreland Zebras half.
Yeah, very lively from the GV Suns late in this first half. Certainly looking like they want to try and sneak in another goal just before the stroke of half-time here. As we have the captain, Shane Dunn, on this free kick. Chips it in towards the back, calmly headed away by the Zebras. Dunn puts a foot on it again, rolls his man, chips it in. Oh, and Fraser Chalmers with the calm catch, plays it out to Dario Vidicic, looks forward, plays it out to his left. Matt Lalliot tries to bring his man down there, but to no avail.
No, I've been impressed by Lalliot tonight. He's done the basics well. He's won his 50-50s, as he always aims to do. And keeps things ticking in the middle. Probably need to see a bit more out of Jamie DeSmit. Has really not been too lively. But here's Josh Knight. He's one-on-one with Nash here. Quick step over, but Nash says no dice. He's got Sean Grant coming in behind him to knock that one out. But Zebras here. Throwing high inside the Suns' final third. Can't be long now till the whistle, and Suns will just have to hunker down and weather the storm. So it is a corner for the Zebras. Whipped in. And it's a great header. And it's gone in. Moreland Zebras steal a second just before the half. We can't quite see who the scorer is as of yet, but it was a really well-taken goal. Beautiful corner whipped into the penalty spot and nodded home with certainty. So that's 2-1 here at McEwen Reserve in favour of the Moreland Zebras. What do you make of it?
Exact opposite of what the GV Suns would have wanted. We're into extra time here at the end of first half. 46th minute, that goal was scored. Craig Carley will not be happy. Pat Kilty showing little to no emotion there on the bench as the referee blows for half-time. GV Suns 1, Moreland Zebras 2.
Yeah, the Suns will feel really hard done by that late goal from Moreland. Worked really well to get back into this game, and you'd have to say they were on the front foot for the second half of that first half. But, yeah, you can see the heads have dropped a little bit on the Suns' faces. Really disappointed. Craig Carley will head in with a different team talk as he probably had ready to deliver. But nonetheless, the scores are 2 to Moreland Zebras, 1 to the GV Suns. We'll take a short break and catch you again in the second half.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, just stealing the show there late in the first half. I believe it was Cam Watson scoring the goal for the Zebras off the head. Nonetheless, the Suns are restarting play here, and I'm joined with Blake Corso. He's calling the game. What did you make of the first half there, Blake?
Thanks, Kiwi. I think Moreland Zebras definitely dominated the first 15 to 20 minutes of that first half. The GV Suns certainly clawed back late in the half, but Moreland then scoring again, just right on the stroke of half time, literally last kick of the half. So a bit unlucky the Suns to be 2 goals to 1 down coming into this second half. So gonna want to try and get back on level terms as soon as possible, will Coach Craig Carley and his assistant, Mr. Pat Kilty. Oh, as we have a sub coming on now. Number 6, Luke Devitt, coming off. And Guy, number 23, coming on right at the start of the second half. Makes you wonder why they didn't just do it at half time. But anyway, we're back now.
Yeah, fairly interesting substitution there from Gianfranco Impellizzeri. But Guy, he's looked to go into midfield to take up where Devitt left off. Don't know a lot about him, but he looks like a pretty tough customer. Tall is Mr. Guy. But here are the Suns with Kilty. Bit of a burst of pace, and Burns' man. Inside to Grant, who, as we mentioned in the first half, is swap wings with George Murahi. Looking to get on the ball a bit more. He's done. He'll find Elliott. It'll go all the way back to McLeod. He's put under pressure by Cardamone. Here's McLeod looking for Pye, and he's given the ball away in a really interesting position. Flinged across, and Kilty will pick that one up. Put under pressure by the new man, Guy. Dunn will sling one up towards the feet of Shamoon. That's Vidicic. Oh, Tidmarsh. Nice little flick. He'll get it again, but Pye sticks a boot through it. Elliott put under pressure, and he does lose the ball. Good touch there from Vidicic. He'll go back to Tidmarsh, but he's lost it. And now the Suns are on the break. There's George. It's cleaned up well by Cam Watson. Just a bit of ping pong here. Neither side really being able to hold down possession, but the Suns will retain it here through Liam Kilty.
Interesting substitution here from Moreland Zebras to put Guy on in central midfield. Definitely offers them a little bit more physically than the departed Luke Devitt, who makes his way to the bench. But they're definitely going to cause a few problems for the GV Suns in midfield there, just based on the sheer physicality of the man, number 23, Guy.
Yeah, we just had a report that it was an injury that forced Luke Devitt from the field, which is the reason why Guy made that early appearance in the second half for Moreland. But there's Nash streaking forward. Will he win the ball? He does. It's a tough battle. It's flicked out, and it is a goal kick. But Nash doing well. We've also got another shout-out from both Greg and I's sister back in New Zealand watching the game. The young kids are Millie, Johnny, and Charlie. And another from England, a relative of Alice Williamson, Rebecca. So it's good to see that the Suns are attracting some international viewing audience.
Just while we're giving shout-outs, I'll dish out one of my own. My beautiful girlfriend, Jess, waiting at home for me. Heat up the dinner, babe. I'll be home within the hour.
Well said, mate. You're putting yourself in the good books there. But the Suns, Williamson's given the ball away. Vidicic finds Tidmarsh. All the way back to Watley. Here's Guy, who his first interaction on the ball was not as he would have desired, but he's won the ball back for Moreland. Knight looking to go around the corner, but it is the Suns who pick up the ball. Murahi, he's got Shamoon ahead of him, and DeSmit inside. What's he going to do? The left winger finds... Oh, DeSmit, he's battling hard, and the ball's at Shamoon's feet. he goes down, but it is a pretty solid tackle there from Tremaine Sadler. And Moreland will pick up the ball. Goes long, and Knight's saying, I want it to my feet, not over the top there, mate. The Welshman just a little bit perplexed. Elliott goes to Williamson. Back to Pye. He'll go across to Kilty, who's had a solid game. He's really coming to his own this season. Still young, the tall centre-back for the Suns. It's Kilty again. He'll find Dunn. Moreland just sitting back, happy to let the Suns knock it around the back for a bit. And Elliott will hoop it over. Williamson just megs Dario Vidicic. And that's one for the resume. DeSmit skips around Guy. Finds Nash. Drops it to Shane Dunn. What's he got? He's got a 5-yard pass to Matt Elliott, who'll dance around and be tripped up there by Guy. Williamson looks ahead. Curls one towards Murahi, but it's cut out. Watson. Ball's at Vidicic's feet. He finds Guy, who looks to go around the corner, but yeah, he doesn't find his man. Cardamone was the intended target.
Just got a few boys from Moreland Zebras there warming up on the side of the pitch, as we can see to our far side here. No one from the GV Suns warming up as of yet. I think we can expect... Oh, no, they've just stood up, about to go for a warm-up. As Haran Actus and Brendan Giaccarini and Lucas Enders, Willie Sow as well. I think we can expect to see young Brandon Giaccarini come on probably in the next 10 or 15 minutes, maybe for Sean Grant. But we'll wait and see what Coach Craig Carley has in store for us in this half.
Yeah, certainly. Giaccarini is always one to provide a spark, and you'd want him in that sort of last half an hour to make a difference against those tiring legs. But as of yet, the Suns haven't made a change. But we'll need to come up with something. Still 2-1 down are the Suns here at McEwen Reserve, as Williamson whips a delightful ball across. And I think that was Sean Grant who had a stab. Just sliced it a bit, and it wasn't going to trouble Fraser Chalmers. But Williamson again just really showing us his passing capabilities with that diagonal, as he's done all this season for the Suns.
Definitely going to make it hard for Adam Gatcombe to get back into this team, especially in the right-back position. Playing so solid there tonight is Alice Williamson. Not quite too sure where Adam Gatcombe would fit into this team. The back four's been quite solid, as we mentioned, playing quite well as a unit. Don't think he'd fancy himself in the midfield these days, Adam Gatcombe, but we'll see in the coming weeks what Craig and Pat have got in store as the ball stays in here. It didn't actually go out. Alice Williamson keeps it in. Plays back to Zachy McLeod, opens himself up. Calm pass to Liam Kilty, looks to travel forward. Knocks it back inside to his skipper. Regains possession, gives it away cheaply to Cam Watson in midfield. And the ball is out for a throw-in.
Yeah, speaking of Adam Gatcombe, it's a far cry from his Cobram days. He's found flying around the wing and inside the middle, but he has bagged a couple for the Suns so far this season and has wheeled out, interestingly, the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration. He won't have the chance to do that tonight, but he will be cheering on from the sidelines, hoping his Suns can drag one back here. As McLeod finds Kilty, goes to Dunn. Kilty's got a couple of yards, finds Grant, who's looking to get more involved, and Elliott sprays one accurately over the top to Williamson. He'll go back to Dunn, occupying that third centre-back role, but he's just given a ball away there to Vidicic. Flicked it through for Knight, and Kilty's come across and cleaned him up. This could be trouble here. He wasn't the last man, so he'll only collect a yellow card, but pretty troubling signs as Josh Knight is still on the deck there. Looks like he'll need a bit of medical attention.
Horrible pass from the Suns there in midfield, very calmly cut out by Dario Vidicic. That's exactly what 23 games for the Socceroos gets you. Liam Kilty in the book now with a yellow card. So he'll be treading on eggshells for the remainder of this game as the Moreland Zebras player receives some attention. Not sure if they'll be getting ready to bring a sub on just yet. No signalling for the stretcher or anything at this stage.
Yeah, no signals yet, but speaking of the substitutes bench for Moreland Zebras, they have plenty of firepower on it. The likes of Thomas Barfarosh, who I believe does have the hold the golden boot for Moreland Zebras so far this season, with 3 or 4. They've got Nick Niadran as well, another pretty handy striker, and Jake Barkadesh, who surprisingly didn't start for the Zebras, but will maybe feature at some stage here tonight. But we're about 10 minutes into the second half here at McEwen Reserve, the home of the GV Suns, the region's premier football club. Scores are 2-1 in favour of the Zebras. An early goal to Ratip Salali, putting the Zebras ahead. Murahi for the Suns, squaring the ledger, not long before half-time, sorry. And then the Zebras hitting back with a header in the final minutes of the first to go 2-1 up. But it is Dario Vidicic stepping up, looking like he's going to whip this one in. 5-man wall for the Suns. What a moment for young keeper Zach McLeod. He's got an ex-professional shot to deal with here. What can he produce? Here we are. Vidicic whips one in, and what a save from Zach McLeod. The outstretched right arm from the teenager denies Dario Vidicic a certain goal, and what a stop from the young keeper.
Fine save from McLeod there. Corner now for Moreland Zebras, but very lucky not to be a goal there. Dario Vidicic taken more than a couple of free kicks in his time, a regular at his time at Adelaide United, Wellington Phoenix, Melbourne City, Brisbane Roar as well, and took many a free kick for the Socceroos in his time there as the ball gets chipped in by the Zebras to the back post. Bit of a scramble. Calls for handball, corner, goal kick, the lot. Goal kick is given to the GV Suns. Zach McLeod with the ball.
Yeah, with Vidicic standing over that one, you always felt like McLeod was going to be asked to do something, and he certainly did. Stood up and produced a pretty cracking save, the young keeper. And here are the Suns. De Smit's on the ball. He's got Vidicic, the free kick taker, right up his rear, but he does well. Keeps the ball and goes out to Nash. Goes first time inside, but that's the substitute guy to make the sub. Now the Suns will have a free kick of their own and a pretty interesting bit of real estate. Sorry, no, they won't. It's the Zebras instead. That's Nicholas Simioy on the ground. Josh Knight streaking ahead, asking for it. And Keelty will just shadow that one out for a Suns throw-in, which Nash will take. The Zebras is pushing a bit higher now, looking to restrict Suns' possession. Haven't done well enough there as Murahi finds Shamoon. He's got a few men on, looking for Grant, but Tidmarsh, the left back, is alert. Knocks that one out. Williamson goes to Laliot. He's bullied by Cardamone, but does extremely well to win the ball back. He's left him on the floor there. Cardamone's in a bit of pain, which is you never like to see.
Just Cardamone receives a little bit of treatment here. Might just touch on the upcoming next 5 games for the GV Suns. Next week on the 29th, they have Werribee City at John McEwen Reserve at 4 o'clock, followed by Moreland City at home also on the 5th of June, followed by Bulleens at the Venator Club in Melbourne, followed by consecutive home games to Manningham United and Pascoe Vale. So next 4 out of 5 games at home for the GV Suns. Certainly going to act in their favour.
Yeah, certainly. Early in the week, Craig Carley said he was looking to make a fortress out of McEwen Reserve. hasn't gone to plan per se, losing last week 1-0 to Northcote City and down 2-1 here to Moreland Zebras, but still plenty of time left here at McEwen Reserve. We've just seen a substitution, so Sean Grant has departed for the youngster Brandon Giaccarini. He's been tasked with picking up on this right-hand side. But the Suns have restarted through Williamson. Look to go long, but Simioi has nodded it back to the hands of Fraser Chalmers. He'll signal his men forward. He's looking to go long. Smith just give him a bit of attention, but Chalmers takes his sinks and pumps it towards Knight. Murray spins on it, but he's got Simioi right on him, and it is Simioi who comes out victorious.
Just touching on the substitution there from the GV Suns quickly, Giaccarini and Grant, both very similar players in the way they go about it, both very quick and good with their feet, so pretty much like-for-like replacement from Craig Carley. Be very interesting to see what they get out of Giaccarini. I think he'll be very hard at it and willing to prove that he deserves a spot in this team, having not featured for the under-21s today, saving himself for this senior game, so hopefully they can extract a bit of greatness from him tonight.
Yeah, almost had the opportunity to weigh in with the Suns almost on the break there, but referee bringing it back for a free kick, which was taken by Zebras, but nothing's about it, and the Suns are on the counter again here. They've got 5 men streaking forward. Murray's on the left. He's got plenty in the box. Flashes it across. There's Giaccarini. Williamson arriving, and we're not sure who was offside there. The assistant's flag was up, but Williamson, it was arriving at the back post to flash it just past that left-hand side. Moreland Zebras would feel like they've just got away with one there with a really creative counter-attack there from the Suns.
Young local assistant referee Dante Natalizio with a massive call there. Suns still not happy about that being ruled offside, that one. Not too sure what to make of it myself. Not in the greatest position, but yeah, Moreland Zebras definitely getting away with one there.
Definitely, but they've still got plenty to deal with Suns occupying the lion's share of the Zebras half. Williamson with another cheeky nutmeg. And he's calling for the throw-in, which he will win. Cardamone kicks it away, and there's more shouts for cards. Plenty of tension here, as there always is in the NPL2. But it will just be a throw-in. Williamson to take. He'll lump it in long, looking for Shamoon. Dunn will put the challenge in. Nevertheless, it will be a Zebras throw-in. For those just tuning in, the scores are 2-1 in the Moreland Zebras' favour here at McEwen Reserve. About 18 minutes gone on the dashboard here in the second half. And Sean Pye win the ball for the Suns. George Murray just loses possession. And mind you, here's Shamoon. He's won the ball in a really dangerous area and earned himself a free kick. And that's a yellow card for a Moreland Zebras player. We're not really sure who it might be. We're thinking Tremaine Sadler.
Exactly what you want from Varney Shamoon there, creating absolute havoc right around the top of the box there. Just been an absolute nuisance for every Moreland Zebras player around him. Had to foul him in the end to get the ball, but Suns have a very promising opportunity from about 25 yards out. Interesting to see who takes this. Got Varney Shamoon looking over it, Shane Dunn, Alice Williamson also eyeing it off. Think it might be Shane Dunn taking this one.
Yeah, plenty of options, and as you mentioned, that's where you want Shamoon to pick up the ball, causing havoc, very direct and a handful in one-on-one situations. But it looks like it's going to be either Dunn or Williamson. The right back fancies himself. He will have a dig, and that if there was a Rose Ed here at McEwen Reserve, that would have reached it. Not an attempt you'd want to see if you're Coach Craig Carley.
Right over the back fence by Williams there, right into the area where I've parked my car. So if there is any chips on that windshield, I will be coming after you, Alice Williamson. I will find you after the game.
Yeah, you might be in danger there, Blake, but nonetheless, it's still 2-1 here. Opportunity gone begging for the Suns, and here's Josh Knight streaking down on goal, and Zach McLeod has handled the ball outside his box. A complete mix-up at the back for the Suns, and the referee now has a decision to make. The Moreland Zebras players are livid. They're right in the referee's ear. We're yet to see what the decision will be, and it's just a yellow. The Zebras players are absolutely livid at that call. We've got the coach and assistants up in arms on the sideline. Nonetheless, it'll be another free kick, and you'd have to say Dario Vidicic steps up to take this one, Blake.
Yeah, definitely Vidicic will be on this. I think Zachy McLeod's a bit lucky just to receive the yellow there. You do see reds given in that situation depending on the referee and exactly what the play was looking like. But I think a yellow is probably a fair result from him. But yeah, depending on the referee, definitely could have gone the other way. Still livid here are the Moreland Zebras fans appealing to the assistant referee. Joshy Knight, very upset. Ropeable even. Pandemonium just outside the box here as Dario Vidicic leans over the ball, ready to take this one.
Yeah, we saw the earlier attempt from Vidicic, probably 5 yards further out, and asked a very handy save out of McLeod, who will have some work to do here. This one probably just outside 20 yards. Suns stacking up a 5-man wall. It's Vidicic and the captain, Watson. What's Moreland got here? Here's Dario Vidicic. Drives it in, and that hits the back of the Suns player. Vidicic will run over to shield this one out for a Zebras throw-in, but Suns just got away with one there. You know, it could have very well easily been a red card for Zach McLeod. And they had to make sure from the resulting free kick, but nonetheless, still 2-1 here. Here's Tidmarsh. Long throw. Going to the box, and it's well headed away by Shane Dunn. Picked up, and Simi will have a drive on goal. Another bite of the cherry. Opts to go out right. And Moreland Zebras really putting the Suns under the cosh here midway through the second half.
Yeah, very lucky to get away with it there, the GV Suns. Dario Vidicic shooting from about 25 yards out. Not sure what Zach McLeod was thinking, handling the ball outside his area there. Instant regret after touching the ball there. But Moreland Zebras with yet another corner, so definitely going to be interesting what happens here. Oh, but it's a throw-in. Long into the box. Oh, and calmly cleared out by Kilty. Giaccarini on the run. Amounts to nothing.
Here's Knight. He drives in. The touch is heavy, and it'll be a Suns goal kick. But Giaccarini has not yet touched the ball. But we do have a sub here. It will be the Moreland City's first goal scorer, Ratip Salali, making way for Thomas Barfarosh. The big man. He'll slot in out wide, I believe, for the Zebras. Scored a couple so far this season for the Zebras. And Salali rightly gets a clap from the crowd as he heads off. He's put in a good hour's work. But now it'll be time to see what Thomas Barfarosh can bring to the contest. Now it looks like the initial substitute, Guy, has just made his way up towards the top of the field. He might be plying his trade as a number 9. Knight looking to split out wide to the left, but the ball's out wide. That is Barfarosh. His first involvement is closing down Kilty, but Kilty does well. Shamoon didn't know a lot about it, but the ball's found him. He was looking to pick out Brandon Giaccarini, who was streaking away, but it was well cut out by, I believe, Matt Watley. Now the Suns have some defending to do. What a touch from Josh Knight. He's got the right-hand side, and
fortunately for the Suns, he's picked out the hands of Zach McLeod instead, but still pressure on. McLeod is giving it straight to the feet. Oh, Vidicic cuts round, finds Knight. He's got a yard. And Laliat, no nonsense, just sticks his boot through it. But again, the Suns just fortunate to emerge from that scathe-free.
Suns very lucky there to get out without conceding a goal. Very poor passage of play. Very slow to clear the lines there. Dario Vidicic not taking his chance, and Josh Knight unable to find the back of the net on that occasion. But something the Suns are going to want to look into. Definitely tightening up that back four.
Yeah, the Suns are going to have to be a bit inventive here. The long balls just aren't going to work, but we are going to have another substitution here. We've got Jamie DeSmit making way, and replacing him is number 17, Craig Carley, the coach. Now, this is something you don't see every week here at McEwen Reserve. Craig Carley chucking down the whiteboard and picking up the boots, slapping him on, and running into the number 9 role. So he's a bit of a cult figure here at the Suns. Scored plenty of goals. I believe is the club's leading goal scorer. And he will need 1 or 2 tonight if the Suns are to come back from this 2-1 deficit. What do you make of Carley subbing himself on, Blake? Interesting move.
I didn't notice him getting kitted up before the substitutions. I wasn't sure if he was going to come on or not. But there's only 20 minutes to go in this game. So if he was going to put himself on, now is definitely the time. He can run himself ragged for the next 20 minutes at least, definitely. So I think it's definitely the right time to bring him on. 2-1 down, as we said. So Suns need a goal, and it's got to come from somewhere. Will be interesting to see how he links up with Varney Shamoon and Brandon Giaccarini, playing himself on the left wing. Craig Carley normally plays as a central striker.
Yeah, interesting move, but it's not the worst. He has scored a few goals for the Suns in pre-season earlier on, but here's Guy flicking it inside. Sean Pye will clean up, but can only find the feet of Simioi at right back. Here's the Zebras out wide, finding Vidicic. He's got Williamson to deal with, but goes inside, finding his skipper Watson. Here's Cardamone. Out to Tidmarsh. All the way back. And Sadler flicks it back to Chalmers. He'll look for Watley, and he can't quite get there. And the Suns will shift up. The centre-backs will start to get forward.
Just touching on Craig Carley substituting himself into the fray here. Probably without the likes of Jamie England and Adam Gatcombe in the team the last couple of weeks. Definitely going to help some of these younger Suns boys having another older, more experienced head on the field. You can see a lot of the boys have already started to lift just with the introduction of Coach Carley himself. Definitely going to provide a bit more energy to this contest as we only have about 20 minutes or so remaining.
Yeah, well, he'll be able to give his instructions firsthand, but what he'll be saying right now is defend, because Dario Vidicic has just sprayed it wide to Josh Knight, who's been dangerous all night for the Zebras. He's got Nash to contend with. He turns on the tricks, but Nash does well enough to deflect that into the hands. There's a shout of handball from the crowd, and that garners a few chuckles from the crowd. But Giaccarini, he's through here. He's got Tidmarsh. Tidmarsh does extraordinarily well to shield out the youngster and play it into his midfielder. Carley puts on the pressure, and he'll win a throw. Here's Tidmarsh, the left back for the Zebras. He's got Vidicic and Guy making a few runs. It is Guy to flick it on. Kilty keeps it in. Vidicic just flicks it over, and Nash has got the substitute, Barfarosh, right up him, but it won't matter. It's offside. Suns went to go take that quickly, but the ball wasn't actually on the deck at the time. So we'll be done to get things restarted. Here's Guilty. Out to Williamson, who's barely put a foot wrong all night. He goes over the top looking for Carly, but he won't have the legs, and Chalmers will pick that one up. Time is of the essence here for the GV Suns. They're 2-1 down, about 15 left to play, and they are in desperate need of a goal. Where do you think it's coming from, Blake?
I think the most likely source at the moment is probably looking from playing coach Craig Carley, providing a lot of energy up front. As there's shouts for handball, referee says no. Moreland Zebras throw-in. Oh, referee wants to have a couple of words with Alice Williamson. Pulls out another slice of cheese there. Yellow card to Alice Williamson. 15 minutes remaining. Tries to stamp his authority on what's left of this game here.
Yeah, we had the perfect angle, and I have to agree with Alice there. That was definitely not a Moreland Zebras throw. He was within his rights to complain, but probably didn't need the fish and chips. So he will go into the book. Yet another booking for the Suns, but there's Knight looking to flick it over the head, but Liam Kilty 6'5" and won't be having a bar of that. Dunn goes all the way back to Zach McLeod, who slipped, and Vidicic. And that's the dagger. Cam Watson providing it. A really unfortunate mistake there from Zach McLeod, slipping over at a really unfortunate time. And Vidicic applying the pressure. Cam Watson applying the finish. And that makes the scores 3-1 here at McEwen Reserve in favour of the Moreland Zebras.
You did mention there, Liam, my Suns are just going to want to try and defend, and hold on for the remainder of the 15 minutes or so that are left in this game. But massive error from Zachy McLeod there. Had the handball debacle about 10 minutes ago. Butchered that there, unfortunately. Vidicic and Cammy Watson combined to put Moreland Zebras 3-1 up. Not long remaining now, so Suns 2 more goals and they can still snatch a draw out of this, but time is running out.
You have to feel that that's absolutely killed the Suns there. They were looking to build a bit of momentum, but a mistake like that just really drops the heads of the Suns players, and it's a long road back into this fixture here at McEwen Reserve. Moreland Zebras will be happy enough to just shut up shop here and see out the rest of this game. Just over 10 minutes remaining in this NPL 2 contest, but they fell asleep there, and Josh Knight been able to pick the ball up. Nash has done well. Finds it. Carly's flicked on to Murahi. Goes one more, but that was Vani Shamoon. Just left a bit in that challenge. Probably just a talking to, as it is his first caution. A few confused faces as neither side are really sure what's going on, but nonetheless, it is a Moreland Zebras free kick. Will be Matt Watley to take. He's got plenty of numbers ahead. He'll go out right looking for the substitute, Thomas Barfarosh. He manages to stab it across, but McLeod gobbles that one up and finds Sean Pye. He'll go to Shane Dunn. Williamson goes down the line, first time, to Shamoon, but he loses out, and Vidicic will play a bit of 1-2 with his captain. And it's really good football here from Moreland Zebras. Barcelona-esque, but they've given it away. Pye's hooked it up the line.
Tormenting the Suns now are Moreland Zebras. They're 3-1 up with 10 minutes to go, and they know it. They're just going to want to try and see this game out as easy as possible. Just knock the ball around like we just seen there. Vidicic getting involved, shouting out instructions to his teammates there, telling the boys to settle. Ball gets taken up the field. Craig Carley can't get a touch on it. Shane Dunn cuts that one out. Guy is on the ball here. Looks like he's about to fall over. Gets back up. George Mirani plays down the line. Receives it back again in midfield. Oh, here we go. Matt Lalliott making a charge. Still going, Matt Lalliott. We have shouts that the ball was out here. Not too sure what's going on. I think the referees might be saying it's a corner.
Yeah, shouts that Matt Elliott might have left a boot in. But keeper Fraser Chalmers is up and about. Craig Carley just letting him know. And a yellow card for, I believe that is the keeper Fraser Chalmers throwing the ball away. But George Murray winds up on that left peg. He'll take a corner for the Suns. Not long left here at McEwen Reserve, and you feel if the Suns are to get back into the game, they need a goal, and it needs to come right about now, I'd say. Here's Murray. Floats it in towards the back tick. Bit of a push, and Moreland Zebras will pick up a free kick. Langwarren in 6th. Moreland City are ahead of Moreland Zebras in 7th and 8th. Then we've got North Geelong, Bulleen, Manningham, and currently the cellar dweller is Werribee. But if the scores are to remain 3-1 here at McEwen, it will likely shake up the pack. The Zebras will climb a few rungs, whereas the Suns will drop down a few. But there is still time here. Murray, he'll go back to Kilty. In turn, he'll find Dunn, who just about manages to get around Guy. Sling it up towards Shamoon. Chest down well. Goes on a bit of a mazy run. Oh, and he's fouled. That's a pretty shocking challenge there from Tremaine Sadler, right on the edge of the box, and Shane Dunn strides over to line the ball up, just shy of, say, 20, 23 yards outside. We've got one more substitution. We've got Matt Elliott making way for Haran Akhtas, who is on for his first senior appearance of the season. Good to see the youngster moving out there. The crafty midfielder is Akhtas. He hasn't got a lot of time to make an impact, but he'll certainly be pretty stoked to be on the park, if anything. But here are the Suns. Shane Dunn takes a couple of sticks back and looks pretty keen to whip this one into the top right. Finds the wall, shouts of handball, and Williamson's charging on. There's a bit of commotion, and the ball is cleared, and Zebra is a bit lucky to get away with that there. Nash is under pressure. Just gives Barfarosh the stiff arm fend, and we'll get the ball back again. Slings it over. That's a handy ball. It'll go over the head of Sean Pye and to the feet of Williamson. Here is Pye. Moreland just screaming, but it's crafty footwork there from Williamson. But now the break is on. Here's Dario Vidicic. We know what he's capable of. He sprays it out wide to Josh Knight. He's got Greg Nash hot on his heels. Flicks it ahead for Barfarosh, who is onside. He'll probably look to wind down the clock here, but Nash does well to win the ball back and a throw for his side.
Just while the GV Suns are throwing this ball in here, just going to touch quickly on Moreland Zebra's next 5 games. They face some stiff competition against Pascoe Vale next week, currently 5th on the table. Then they will have a home game against Kingston City, another home game against league leaders Brunswick City. They'll be away to North Geelong the week after, and then they will be at home to Langwarren the week after that. So a couple winnable games there for Moreland Zebras, but also hard ones against the likes of Brunswick, Kingston, Pascoe Vale. So definitely going to look to charge up the ladder. They move up one position tonight, overtaking their Moreland counterparts, Moreland City, as the ball is thrown into the box here.
Is done, slinging it towards the back post, but there's no one there to meet it. And the frustration is palpable here for the Suns at McEwen. Not long left, you'd have to say just over 5 minutes left on the dashboard. Scores still 3-1 in Moreland Zebra's favour. And you'd have to say the individual brilliance of the likes of Vidicic, who's come into the game late here. Knight and co have probably won the game here for the Zebras, but the Suns will still be battling hard. They've got Shamoon and Carly playing as top two. Brandon Giaccherini outside them. And they'll need to get them on the ball if they're looking to salvage anything out of this game. Moreland to throw in. Looking for the head of Guy. He'll stand on it. Flick it around the corner. Here's Barfaros, the substitute. A few step overs. Hooks it back. There's a shout of handball, and Keelty's cannon that into the head of, I believe, Shane Dunn. It will be a Moreland Zebras corner, but just a bit of panic stations there at the GV Suns defensive end. It's Cardamone strolling over to take it. He's been solid all night. Who have been your standouts for Moreland Zebras tonight, Blake?
Oh, definitely Cardamone's been one. I think Vidicic has been excellent, especially when he gets on the ball. He really does provide a lot for Zebras. There's a shout for handball here. The Moreland fans are livid as the ball gets driven out to Shamoon. Tries to play Craig Carley through. Puts his foot on the ball here. Edges closer towards the 18-yard box. And calmly seen out. We get a corner here. Looks like Craig Carley's going to take it. Just touching on the Moreland Zebras players, I think Dario Vidicic has been excellent. Josh Knight has been fantastic. Cam Watson, oh, the ball's been played quick by Craig Carley. Haran Actus with his first touch. Ball's calmly been headed out. Alice Williamson to take the throw.
Yeah, first involvement for Actus. Nice header on target, but the ball's still in the Suns' possession. Murray flicks it across. Carley goes up for the header, but he's judged to be offside. No, the ball's gone out. But we saw earlier the trademark step over and push from Carley. And, yeah, left it in for the Moreland Zebras centre-back. Unfortunately, nothing's come of it, and it's really getting down to it here at McEwen Reserve. Just a couple of minutes left here, and the Moreland Zebras look poised to hold on to this one. Scores remain at 3-1 in the Zebras' favour. And there's Matt Watley to take the goal kick. Nash will win the header for the Suns. There's Actus with a routine pass out to his right back. Williamson pings a delightful diagonal into the feet of Murray. He goes first time, and we've got Keelty forward, the big centre-back, just going hell for leather. Puts a bit of pressure on, and Dunn will get the ball out, but Suns have lost it in a costly area, and Knight will happily hook that around the corner. Barfarosh is given chase, but Nash is forced to pass that one out for a corner.
Great to see Haran Actus getting on for these last 10 or so minutes. A couple of good touches so far already. Hasn't played a lot of football for the seniors over the last 2 or 3 seasons. More of a mainstay in the under-20s and 21 side. So great to see him getting on and getting a few touches of the ball early. Definitely one of the players who's been at the club for an incredibly long time, coming up through the juniors, as so many of these boys in this current team have.
Yeah, that's one thing the Suns can hold their head high, up about that. They do have a lot of homegrown talent. They don't have the ridiculous budgets that some of these Melbourne teams do have to throw around, splash the cash, and you've seen it in the likes of Actus. We've got Liam Keelty, Brandon Giaccherini. Those boys have all been at the club for a large amount of time, and they've all done well so far tonight.
Yeah, home talent's definitely the way to go, I think, Liam, especially in this level of football. We can't always afford to be shelling out huge amounts of cash for probably more ready-made players, but they probably don't offer quite as much as some of these younger boys. I certainly think Vidicic will be on a bit more than a meat pie and a can of Coke, but yeah, it's great to see so many young boys for the Suns getting a go and playing some really good football.
Yeah, definitely. But regardless, Moreland still do lead, and You can say the champagne's on ice in the changing rooms here at McEwen Reserve. They look just about ready to pop off with probably only a couple of minutes left. And they've won the ball again here. Chance to add misery to mishap. And what a strike from Josh Knight. And asked an even better save of Zach McLeod. Unfortunate in possibly giving Moreland the third goal, but has done well in denying them their fourth. What a save from the youngster.
Well, he's just redeemed himself there, has Zach McLeod. Couple of mistakes a little bit earlier on, but definitely redeemed himself there. Very competent young keeper. Probably a bit unlucky earlier in this game to give away the ball cheaply a couple of times, but he's going to want to defend this corner and keep his reputation strong. As Moreland look to close out this game, 3-1 winners.
And it looks like we'll have one last substitute here. It will be Josh Knight, the man who just fizzed an attempt on goal. And he'll be replaced by Nick Niaduran. Very capable striker is Nick. He won't have long left to make an impact, but Moreland more winding down the clock here at McEwen Reserve. Josh Knight, rightly so, gets a pretty loud clap from the away end as he heads to the bench. Nick Niaduran just storming on. He's a, as Blake just said, a big boy, the number 9. He's holding off and wins the ball. Guy knocks it back. Cardamone flicks around the corner. What's he got? Oh, well blocked, but Haran Akhtas wins the ball off Dario Vidicic. Giaccarini is up in arms about that decision, but nonetheless, Nathan Tidmarsh will take his time in setting up this throw-in. He's got the substitute Niaduran ahead of him. He opts to find him. Gets the head. Shamoon puts in a tackle and it's heaped forward by Williamson, who finds Kilty, who's running like a rabid dog up front. Niaduran's offside.
Nearly 48 minutes gone in this second half. Might see another minute or two to make up for all the substitutions and bookings. Referee just looks at his watch. Going to look to call time any second now as McLeod thumps it downfield, looking for Shamoon. Unable to get a head on it. Shane Dunn unable to make an attempt. Ball played back to Zach McLeod. Referee looks at the watch again. Mungle pass into the middle of the ground. Dario Vidicic on the ball. Plays it back calmly. Comes off Giaccarini. Williamson again. Ball is out of play for a GV Suns throw.
Yeah, really not long left here. I think we're in a matter of seconds, not minutes. Williamson will hoop it over looking for Kilty, who just absolutely collects Tremaine Sadler. And Carly's left something in there as well. Kilty can hold his head up high. He's done his job at the back and certainly caused a fair few headaches up front. Moreland more than happy just to take their sweet time in setting up for this free kick. Not throwing too many men forward, as you'd expect, with not long left on the clock. And speaking of, referee blows his final whistle. That leaves the scores at 3-1 in favour of the Moreland Zebras. They'll take the 3 points here tonight at McEwen Reserve. Blake Corso, what do you make of the game?
Well, Suns are definitely going to be disappointed with that one, Liam. 3-1 losers in the end. Look, probably a fair result considering the way they've played and just how well Moreland Zebras have gone about it. Class team, this Zebras side. I think they'll win quite a few more games this season than most people may have predicted. But yes, Craig Carley, Pat Kilty, both will be very disappointed with the loss. They're back at home next week again, the Suns, so going to look to redeem themselves after that display.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Suns will feel pretty hard done by to do really well to work their way back into the contest and square the ledger at 1-1, and then just to fall behind at 2-1 just before the half that killer blow was the McLeod mistake, which left the Suns 3-1 down, and Moreland Zebras too quick, too composed, and too classy on the night. That'll be all from us, and we will catch you next week at home here at McEwen Reserve. Thanks very much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Matthew Lelliott.
I'm Zach McLeod and I play for GV Suns.
Come down and support the GV Suns.
My club,
Your club.
our club.
Visit our Facebook page to find out when we're playing next.